back, everybody. Today I'm going to be going over some things I've done to my salt spreader here. It's John Deere branded, but it's made by Agri-Fab. It's a very popular model. It can be picked up all the box stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, and I even believe Tractor Supply. So I got this before last year and noticed some issues with it that made it very hard to use. So after thinking about it all spring, I came up with some solutions, and I'm going to highlight those here for you today. Alright, so the first issue I found was with the stock tires that came with it. They're pneumatic, and even at proper air pressure in the tire, I just felt like when it was loaded, they were just getting too far squished down, and sometimes they would just tend to slide across if there was any kind of ice or snow. So I decided to upgrade it to solid tires. I bought these at Harbor Freight. They are foam filled. I don't remember how much I paid for them, but I will find the link and leave it in the description below. And they're much better. When you put this thing full of salt, you can't even hardly tell based on the tires. They don't really give it all. So they came with ball bearings in them, and for this application, the ball bearing was not going to be effective. So in the stock ones, there was plastic bushings, which did have to get removed. And in the new wheels, I did have to drill holes on either side to be able to put the cotter pin in to lock it to the shaft. So these are two-piece wheels. Split them apart, took the measurements off of here, and with the help of the bushing, drilled holes with my drill press, and it works very well. The other issue while we're here with the tires was only the one side was locked originally to the shaft from how this was designed, and that was to make it easier to turn, because the one side would have been freewheeling and it made it easier to turn. But I found that the one side would then get either locked up with salt on the inside and then would drag, or this side, the locked side, would go through salt, or snow rather, and ice, and just skid while the other side was turning. So much like either a muscle car with a posi or a off-road vehicle, I locked both together and drilled holes in for both sides and cotter pinned both. So it does make it a little bit harder to turn, but because there is so much slop with these cotter pins, you do get, let me prop it up here. So you can see, I hope, yeah, you can. The one side here I'm moving, and the other side is moving only ever so slightly. So there is a bit of turning available, and usually when you're salting, it's a little slick, so it tends to just, when you're in a turn, it will just kind of drift itself around. I've found that it's much more effective than what it was originally. I'm able to go through, we had some slush actually just the other day, and it went right through the slush, and this did not stop spinning. It didn't bind up, it didn't start sliding, it just kept going. So, two modifications there that I felt made this a better machine. So my next issue was how it disperses the salt, or in any application, whether it's seed or fertilizer for your lawn, because this is not designed specifically for salt. That's just what I bought it for. But if you look, this plate here spins, and the material drops in. Here, we'll show you here actually. There's some in the... So it falls in through that hole and then gets dispersed by the gearbox. Well, the problem is it shoots it in a approximately 360-degree circle, which means it's shooting some back at the operator, and I was finding that I was getting bits of salt in my shoes when I was using it, and that doesn't seem very effective to me. I don't like it shooting back at me. It should be going to the sides and out the front. So, as I said in the opening, this is an Agri-Fab. So I looked up additions to this that Agri-Fab sells, and they make a rubber guard that clamps on to the frame and prevents material from flying out. So I thought that's great. It was only about $20 or $30. I thought that would be fantastic. Well, looking into it a little more, it was designed to go on the front, because how it was shaped, it took up this radius piece here, and judging by how the design was and where it clips to, it didn't seem to me that it would be effective to go across the back, which is where I was looking for. So some of you may know this. I have a very good friend that has and is well versed in 3D printing. So I showed him some pictures of what Agri-Fab had, and to see if there was something he could design that could be functionally equivalent. So that is what we came up with right here. So with some measuring of the frame and a couple of trial and errors, we made a piece that will fit right over, and very sturdily. You know, this thing doesn't move at high speeds, and it pops right off. So with a little rubber and a couple of pieces and some nuts and bolts, I decided to make my own. That goes across the back. So you can see here a nut and a bolt, a washer. So we designed this with an international audience in mind, because I was thinking of just using 1/4-20 bolts, but to make it worldly, we decided to make it metric, and this opening and this opening, these openings here, are 8mm and or 5/16, because they are approximately the same size. So you can see on this one that I have set up, the nut falls right into that and is held. And then going back to this one, you would insert the bolt through here, and then this happenstance, it comes out the other end, but if you have a short enough bolt, it does not need to. So, you know, like I said, we had some trial and error, but we came up with a good product, and it works very well. And I will be leaving a link in the description to where you can download the file for this. It will be to Thingiverse, which is a 3D printing repository. And so if you have a printer, know someone with a printer, and this is something you're interested in, you'll have the file and the trial and error already done for you. So let's put this on. I'll set you up on the tripod here, and then we can, so these will go to the inside. Back off. So you can see the plane at which the plate in here is shooting it off is well below the top of the rubber mat here. Now for my application, I made it 8 inches wide by 28 inches long to wrap all the way around. You may want yours a little tighter, a little lighter, depending on if you have the exact same model as mine or something, a different brand. I believe Brindley Hardy probably makes one. There's a couple other brands. I know Agri-Fab is the big one here. So this will prevent the material, whether it's salt, fertilizer, or seed, from coming back at me, and keep it out of my shoes. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. You know, it took some thought and you know, a little trial and error with my old savings and loan buddy. And so that's what I've done here to improve this product that I felt had some deficiencies from the factory. And you know, if you have any questions about what I've done, please ask them in the comments. Everything I've outlined here, again, it's just an outline. This is by no means a step-by-step guide on how to do this. I boneheadedly did not record myself putting any of this together, and in hindsight, I probably should have done that. It is rather simple. It didn't take very long. You know, I have a drill press, but you know, certainly a hand drill would suffice to drill said holes. And so that's all. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If I get enough of them with enough questions, I will certainly do a follow-up video. If not, thank you for watching, and please tune in to the next one. And we will see you then.